Hey, this is Travis. Recently, I have had a issue where we're doing a remodel on the house, and I need to have a duct go over top of a wall that's getting close to the roof line in the attic space. And so we've got to get a 4-inch duct over that wall into that attic space, but we need to stay out of the insulation layer. And so we've got 2 inches of space to go through. But they don't really make a 2-inch duct that we can find. There are some supposedly 2 1/4, which are considered wall stacks, but I can't seem to even locate those. So I've come up with an idea, and it seemed to work pretty good. I already made one. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and if you ever run across a situation where you need to do it, this may help you. All right, here we go. All right, so the first thing I did is I've made me a jig here, and this is my piece of 2-inch, a 4-inch duct. And so we're going to use a piece of 4-inch duct, which is what needs to be in that room anyway. And all we're basically going to do is we're going to take it from 4-inch on one end round to 4-inch round on the other end and make it square in the middle, a rectangle in the middle. That's what we're going to do. And the way I'm going to do that is I've made me a rig here, and I've cut 2 pieces of plywood, put a 4-inch hole in each end of it, attached it to a piece of 2x8. I've got my 4-inch pipe already in there, fairly snug fit. I went to the local metal shop this morning and got me some 3/8 inch flat bar. It's just 3/8 inch, 2 by 2 inch wide by 6 inch long is what it is, flat bar. And I've taken it and I've rounded it really nicely on the corners and all. And the reason why I've done this is because I'm going to push with this, and I don't want it to rip through my metal. So I've really nicely rounded it and smoothed it out really nice. I've got 2 of those now. I made 2 of them earlier this morning. And I've got my hydraulic porter power. And if you've never seen these, they're you can buy them at like tools like Harbor Freight and things like that. And they basically are used a lot for automotive things, but it's a hydraulic pump system, and that has a whole lot of force. They also have rams and other items you can use with it. But now what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put this. I'm going to take this ram right here, this piece of wood, because I need a little extra shim in there, and I'm going to take this here, just like that, and this, and put on this side just like that. And the reason why I'm shifting them up, and I'm doing this one-handed, the reason why I'm shifting them here is because the pressure point, the push point, is going to be the tips of these 2. Because as that thing opens, as it opens like that, these bars are going go against the wall of the pipe in there, and it's going to make it tilt, and it's going to be like sort of like that, and because the pressure is going to be here and here on these 2 points. So when I put it together, I want to put it together kind of with the points out like that. And once they get together, I'll take that black tape and wrap around and hold it in place. And then I'm going to take it and insert it up the end of the tube, into the pipe. Now, before I put this pipe together, I marked it on the inside, because when you buy these, they don't have mark. They don't have. They're not put together. Let me see if I can slide you in there where you can see that mark. Don't know if you can see it or not, but I've marked that there's 2 internal marks. One's 9 inches. It's 9 inches off this end, 9 inches. The other one's 9 inches off this end, 9 inches, which leaves a 6-inch space in dead center of this pipe. And the reason why I've done that is because when I go to put that down, I can look in the end of this pipe, and I can see that mark, and I can move this apparatus to where these plates are at that mark. And once we get it to that mark, I'm going to expand it. But as you can see here, when I put the pipe together, and they engage it kind of engages like that, snaps in. And I put the pipe together, and I've gone in here and I've put rivets that go into the pipe and go into this other flange of this pipe right here. It goes through this part and into this flange right here. And the reason that I've done that is because I'm going to put a lot of pressure on this, and I don't want this joint popping back open. So I've put these in here. I've randomly spaced them. this is at my 6-inch area is right in here, and I put a little extra reinforcement here and here on each end of it, just because it's going to be transitioning from square in this area and staying round up there. Okay. All right. So let me get you set up on the tripod here, and you can watch me get everything ready. Okay. So now, the reason why I had put in this frame was because of if I did not, and I tried to push this, it would oval this end out also. But by putting it in these frames, it holds this way, it keeps this round while this is being shaped. So first thing I'm going to do, like we said, is I'm going to put this together. I'll put that there. I'm going to put that there. And we're going to come back half of the, turn this round over to the flat side. Okay. Just add twisting. And go about right about there. That's where we get good pivot points. And tape that in place. This black electrical tape will expand and it'll end up eventually, it'll just stretch it. So it's not going to cause us any problems or anything. And this is not real firm, but you don't need to be real firm. You just need to get it long enough to get it in that pipe. So you want to just got to be real careful with it and get it in the pipe. Down in the pipe. And then you want to keep it, make sure it stays straight, because you want it to go in fairly straight and level. And I'm watching till I get to my lines that I've got drawn in there. Now, if your eyesight's like mine, you may need a little help. So I light me up a flashlight there, and that right there is my lines. Now, as you can see, we've got the ram in there, and I'm going to give it a slight twist. There we go. And now I'm going to pump it. I'm going to move this, see if I can move it where you can watch the sides, watch this area here. And I'm going to pump our pump. I've got it turned on already, where I'm not blocking your view. Okay. Now, we're going to start pumping. Just going slow and easy. Yep, looks good. Okay, here we go. So you're starting to get pressure now. I can feel there's a block there and a block there. There's a little bit of an angle coming in here and here on each side. Now as I pump it, you'll see it. You see it moving? The top's going down, this is going down, and the bottom's coming up because it's flattening itself out as it goes. Okay, now that's pretty flat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this block of wood and this hammer, and I'm going to work it a little. Now you don't want to go too far to the ends because you want them to stay round. But we need about a good 6 inches of flat in the middle of this. So we're going to go from that rivet to this rivet before we stop and make it fairly round, flat in there. And so let's give us a good flat spot there. Then I'll take and work this just to kind of level things out a little bit. And what I'm doing is I'm tapping that to give it a gradual upflow. But I don't want to, we want to make sure this part stays nice and round. If you get too far, this will start egging out and it'll go like crazy, even though it's in a frame. So you hear that steel block in there. It's all in this area. All right, so I've got that pretty flat on top. Now I'm going to rotate it. And the machine, you know, by making it the way I made it, I can just turn the pipe in the machine like that. Now you see this one's not completely formed yet. It popped here. That was where it had a tension line made in it, so it made it pop there. So we're going to go ahead and form it in also. And so I can hit that pretty hard because that 2 steel bars is in there. So I'm actually walking, the board's walking on the rim of them, on that bar. By tapping this side here, I'm getting a nice square corner. You're going to have the same amount of velocity as the 4-inch is. It's the same amount of space, so it doesn't lose any, it doesn't restrict or anything, lose any cubic inches. It's exactly the same amount of cubic inches. What it's doing is it's going from round and shoving it and putting it in a corner point, which makes it go down flat. Now, as you see, that goes now from the 2-inch. That makes it. That's got us now. We are at 2 inches. We got a 2-inch wide. And the odd thing about it is this is a 4-inch piece of pipe, but it only makes it 4.5 inches this way. So it doesn't take up a lot of, it doesn't make it real wide. We don't have a lot of room width-wise either. So we've got to kind of make it fit. And what we have is we have 2 beams that go here and here. And this is the rafter, the top of the ceiling, the top of the roof rather. And this is the top of the ceiling for that room, the wall height ceiling. So we had to be able to fit between those 2. And this is going to make it work for us without getting into our insulation space. So I've hammered that up pretty good. Hammer the sides. And this is just a body hammer. Get it anywhere, any store that has tools like Harbor Freight or any of those. Works real well because it's made real flat on the hammer things. Now, we've got that looking pretty good there, pretty good and flat. So I'll go ahead and take the pressure off of this. And you see it stayed where it's at, did not move back. Pull the ram out, and then get the rest of our stuff out of there. Here's the 2 plates, and then the piece of wood. All right, now you can see there's still a little bit of ripple to it there. Hope you can see that. So then what I do is I take this and I use it like a sheet metal dolly. A sheet metal dolly is made to put behind the metal, and you put you put it up behind the metal and you tap this with it, and it helps take the dents and wrinkles and things out of it. I've got all kinds of them over there. It's different shapes, but I'm going to use this just like it because it's flat. My other ones are not flat. So I'm going to put it in there with my other hand. I'll turn that a little bit so you can see, kind of see what's happening. You can see how we got some places here now. So we're going to kind of work some of those out. Like, right here's this look. We got some of that wrinkle out there. This is probably not necessary because it is a duct. It's not going to be seen after it's all installed, but I just kind of like to make it look a little better. And I've got my arm all whipped here. Move it to the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to rotate it and do the other side. We've got that. That's pretty flat now. That section is. So it does look like I need a little more right here. Let me get it first, and then we'll rotate it and do the other side. Now I'll rotate it again. It's a little hard to rotate, but you want it firm. And then I'm going to work this side down. Now there's a place right here, and what that is that was this right here, because it's sitting there like that, and that's this brad that's here that made that. So we need to get rid of that. Put our dolly in behind it, and we're going to work that area right there. And if you'll notice, as I go up this edge, see, I'm actually making that crease right up there. Same thing on this other side here. Making sure you can see that. Okay. Turn that up that way. Trying to see if I can get you a better angle at where you can see a little better. Let me get you a little more height. Like that. Okay. I know it's kind of shiny, and that makes it a little harder to see it. But you can see how we've gone. Now we're square in the middle there, round on each end. And from the top view, you see how it looks like that, round on each end. You know, it's rectangular, and you can see how it's not. It's got some little bit of ripple in it. I mean, it's not going to be perfect because of what it is, but we need to have 6 inches here in this center section, and so I need to bring this up some, and that's why I was doing that block. I was hammering this seam and making it longer here. So I'm going to do this side now. I'm just placing that block up in this corner, right up in this side. See, now that's about the same amount of space across there. Now we want to work this area down. Now moving over to this side. And we're going to get this area up here in front. Now there's an area right here. This was a crease that they put in the pipe to begin with, and that's to make it a little stronger. Well, it's not hurting anything, but it makes a little hump there. So I'm going to see if I can work some of that out. It's a little hard to get my block set in that area because of the angle, because this is an angle now. All right, and you see we got a good bit of that out. Now I'm going to put a little bit of crease here, not much. Same on the other side over here, a little bit of crease. Very little. And that gives us a pretty good flat area there of 6 inches. Right there between it. So we end up with a really narrow, thin duct area there from 2 to 4. 2 inches to 4 inches. I mean 2 inches to a 4-inch pipe. So and that's it. So now I can take that and put it in that. It'll go in the restricted area, and it'll have pipe. It'll attach a pipe through each end of it, and it'll go into the AC duct. So it's actually an AC duct, is what it is, and it's for a walk-in closet. And so that'll be able to get in there to it and meet all of our requirements to make it work. All right. If this is helpful, please leave a comment and let me know. There's a lot of ways you can do things if you just think kind of out of the box. And that's kind of what this was. I'd never done this before, but we needed this, and I couldn't seem to get anything that anybody was manufacturing. And so I just tried this as an experiment. This is actually my second one. And I tried it as an experiment to see if it would work. And in my mind, it would work. But, sheet metal does strange things sometimes. But it did. All right. Y'all have a great day. Thanks. Bye.